Hi, Micah Morrow here. Welcome to my informative speech about the life and schedule of a college athlete here at China. Being a college athlete gives you a new leash on life, on your college experience. However, it's a double-edged sword because you have lots of things to juggle. Like, you have the fun and joy from athletics, but the schedule is very, very hard because it takes a toll because you have social life to think about. You have your mental state and you have your workload, and those are all challenges. That's really difficult. But I'm going to tell you why from three different point of views, how it can be helped. Micah Morrow, my roommate, freshman wrestler like me, his social life is affected by making his schedule give him enough time to still work, still eat, still be, a regular person. On game days, however, his social life isn't really affected because he's trying to focus in, you gotta focus in on wrestling meets. And he just wants to be calm and be ready about game day. But majorly he just wants support from his family, which I believe too, because I need a lot of support, because college athletics is very difficult. College athletics. But it's all about the mentality, really. If you want to have a social life, you can have a social life, he says. You just gotta schedule it away. You still gotta go to class, eat, do everything. You just gotta be mindful about it. And you can be a very social person. It's very doable. I do it. Now the workload, and juggling that. I'm not gonna lie, he says it's pretty hard. And from my experience, it is pretty hard. But like I said before, you have to have that drive to go out and do this thing called being a student athlete, because this is what you signed up for. He's a student that uses the same strategies he uses in wrestling or in sports in general to make sure he will never give up on his workload. And he will try his best with anything. And he really does. On and off the mat, he's a great guy. He will still have the same motives. He still has the same motives, I want to go win, I want to go do this, I want to go make my family proud. And it's the same thing for school. Your motives as an athlete drive you as a student. He's a really good role model for that, and everything really. And now the mental state. The mental is wrestling is 90% mental, 10% physical. The mental state is very different. You need to have good time management, obviously with your schedule, to take time for self-care, because everybody needs self-care. But he's able to juggle his mental state as long as he schedules himself accordingly. You have to set time for yourself and stay mentally stable. Along with having that strong mentality. It's really all in your head, man. It's all about having that mentality to do your work, because you want to do both. You want to be a student and you want to be an athlete. You don't want to drop out. Now my other teammate, James Jarbo, very good wrestler, freshman. His social life and how it's affected by his schedule is a different scope. Honestly, he really doesn't have that much of a social life. He's more introverted. Like, he really doesn't have time to go do anything because you have to work out, you have to study, you have to be an athlete. And it takes a lot of time out. So you have to really schedule accordingly. But it doesn't really make him feel that bad because he's introverted. He doesn't really like talking to people. So it's really however you slice it. There's more than one way to skin a cat. It's really however you see it. And so it's really not affected because he doesn't really have a social life. He can schedule it to be by himself and still be okay with it. Which I can understand too, because I eat alone sometimes. And then this workload, it's time management, of course. It's all about time management. You can't not manage your time. You can't. Because being an athlete, it takes like the focus and energy away from what you're doing if you don't manage your time. And you have to cut weight too, so that's even worse. But you still gotta manage your time. You just gotta suck it up and do it. This is what you signed up for, really. And it's just really hard and difficult to juggle, but it's doable. And then his mental is different from Michael's, because honestly, he really doesn't, it's not that he doesn't care, but he has a more like, don't stress out about it attitude. He's more like, don't care too much about it, but still care. Like, don't let it get to you. Which happens to me sometimes. I let the wall get to me, and I can't do that. Because you just gotta chill out, don't stress, and it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And you can schedule yourself to just chill out, get away from the world, it's fine. Now, my friend Bashard, he's a seasoned wrestler, sophomore. His social life. He has two different types of social lives, which makes sense to me. He has his wrestling social life and his regular social life. And what basically one is regular social life, basically one is wrestling social life. It's kind of the same thing. Like, he's a wrestler and he's a regular person. And because he's a wrestler, he's a regular person, they go together, and that's how his social life is. He's both. He wears two hats, but he controls it, and he's a good guy. Great character. His workload. Now, he's seasoned. He knows what to do. He's been there before. He's been there a year. You have to plan ahead. You can't. You gotta be smart with your time. You gotta plan ahead. You have to use all your free time. You really don't get free time because you're just working or studying or working out. And there's no way around it. You're not just juggling out time. You can't be like, hey, can I not do this assignment? No, you can't do that. You have to do it 24/7, which is tough for me, and I've had to learn, but that's okay. His mental state, which is like me, what I try to do, is positive vibes. You just gotta be positive, man. I mean, I know it's bleak, it's hard, it's college, it's hard for everybody, but you gotta be positive. Be smart about your decisions, choices, relationships even. Really everything, even on the mat, be smart, just wrestling. Which is why they kind of go in tandem, like I said before. And make sure that you take care of yourself. Self-care is really, really important. Mental state, it's all in your head. So on game days, it flies by. It flies by. You know, if you think about social life, workload, mental state, it just flies by, man. It's like an escape for him, which I've come to understand. Wrestling is very much an escape. I have to think about everything, get worried, depressed, about anything. It engulfs you, it makes you think different. You're not really worried about all the negative things that are happening. You're worried about just wrestling. And how you're gonna work hard. Approximately 86% of athletes graduate from college. It explains that even through the social life, workload, and mental state, even though they're all challenged and tested, if you just schedule yourself accordingly, you can do it. You just gotta believe in yourself. My opinion, my social life, I kind of encompass everybody. You know, I don't try and stress too much, but I leave time for people. And I put on two hats too. I'm two different people, but that's really what makes me me. And I like it though, man. I've changed for the better. The workload, time management is really all I can say. Time management and not like my dad says, staying up for nothing. Gotta do everything on time, can't procrastinate. And your mental state, I agree with them on all cylinders, but I pray a lot, I'm very religious. I pray a lot, I know God keeps me, it's great. And you just gotta position your time right, like Michael said. You just gotta have positive vibes. You just really gotta be your own cheerleader, really. Like, you're in charge of what you think every day. You're in charge of your mental state. You can be sadness, you can really be anything with God and your mental state. And so, across the board, they think that being a student athlete is harder than being a student. Which I can see, but really, they kind of go together. Because a student athlete has the same drive as a student, it's just a student doesn't play sports. And they're really the same thing. So, it really works out. I'm comfortable because I asked real Shiner wrestling students, a seasoned wrestling student, and they gave me real facts. And they've been through it, Rashad's really been through it, and it's really comfortable. You can hear the truth in their voice. I now understand the similarities and difference between a college athlete, and I understand more clearly the life of a student athlete. Fact in all opinions, including mine, because I'm a wrestler too, I can see that an athlete and a student are different manner because of their schedules that are quite different from each other. But they're also similar because that sports field mentality, the student can have that mentality to not let their family down and still do great in school. We're really the same. We're more the same than we are different. And that's really like the world, actually. And so, it's really good. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna go do some more work. I don't know, it's at like 8.